Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. I'm very sorry that I did a live stream 1 minute ago which failed, but luckily it looks like it's working now. So I'm sorry if you joined the first one momentarily ago. How is everybody feeling today? If this is your first live stream, please let me know. Hi there. Hey man, how can someone forget in 2 days a decade-old relationship and act like it never existed? Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. It obviously sounds very sad, very shocking. I'm sure that you didn't see it coming. A lot of people don't in your position. But what I would say is that even though they might be acting in a way as if this relationship you had didn't matter, didn't exist, didn't happen, the truth of the matter is they will never forget this relationship. And the truth of the matter is that whilst they was in the relationship, it would have mattered a great deal, I'm sure. But unfortunately, your ex would have lost romantic emotional attraction, and then in the position they were in, they have decided to end the relationship, and then after 2 days, I don't know if that means maybe they seem happy or maybe they're dating somebody else or something, but you are now feeling that they forgot about you. That's very painful, but what I can say is they won't have forgot about you. They will still be thinking about your relationship, but it's just very sad that at this moment in time, they don't have enough romantic emotional attraction to want to be in a connection with you at this stage. It can be the hardest time, those initial first days, weeks and even months of the breakup, and when you are a stage 1 dumpy. And for anybody who is going through that, let me tell you, you will get through the other side. I always like to use the analogy, it is like you are in a tunnel, you are in a bleak tunnel, and you feel like all you see around you is darkness, sadness, fear. You might feel scared, but the best way, well, ultimately the only way to get through a tunnel is to keep moving forward. If you stand still or if you look back, then you will stay in the tunnel. You will be stuck in the tunnel, in the darkness with the fear. You will feel frightened. But if you move forward, then eventually you will get out of this tunnel. So it might be a long journey. I'm not saying it is a small tunnel or a short tunnel, but the only way to get out of this tunnel of despair is to keep moving forward. K4, hi K4. Hi Vincent, how are you K4? Welcome to everybody who has just joined the live stream. Please say hi, please say hello, and let me know how you're feeling. Sometimes you just need to get something off your chest. You just need to say something. just to feel a little bit better for the rest of your day. Sabavida said birthday. Is it your birthday today? Is it your ex's birthday? K4 said, still have my ex on my mind every day, most of the day. After 1.5 years, I think became this way by viewing her social media a lot. It is very, very challenging to change habits, but once you do, you know you are on a positive track. So if you were checking your ex's social media constantly, then this would have been a very hard habit to break. But once you have done this, then you can get to a stage where you will think of your ex slightly less each day. It might feel like you're thinking of them all of the time, but as time moves forward, if you can combine that with doing your own thing, moving forward with your own life, things will start to fall into place a little easier. Adea has said, hi, feeling better after 7 months. Still missing him. Well, the key thing there is that you are feeling a bit better. Okay? Feeling better is a positive sign. You still miss him. You will always feel for him, I'm sure. But if you can feel a little bit better every single day, then you are on the right track towards happiness. Yes, sir. Thank you for your valuable advice. I lost a dishonest liar cheater, which ain't a loss at all. But she lost me, and that is her karma. Forgive, healing, and moving on with head held high. You're doing the right thing, and it is so hard. You know, people who are going through the breakup blues, you know, you're feeling a combination of feelings and experiences which is similar to drug withdrawal and grief. And you combine those powerful feelings and it can be very, very challenging. But you will get through it. All of you will find happiness again. So K4 said she reposted a picture of our vacation recently. I talked myself into liking the post. It resulted in nothing. Exes want to know you're still there when you start moving on. The picture was just of herself, one that I took. So in this instance, K4, it's possible that she just liked the photo. It's possible that she didn't look at the connection to the vacation, to who took the photo. I mean, of course, we don't know for certain. Possibly she was thinking that you took the photo. Possibly she was thinking about everything that happened. Of course, there is a trigger involved here. But we can't say for certain that she looked at that photo any deeper than considering she liked the photo. So my suggestion at this time would be to try your hardest not to look at your ex's social media, not to interact with anything that she does, and to never contact your ex again unless your ex contacts you first in a direct and clear way. So Sabavida said, you were spot on. Ex broke contact on day 173, a classic crumb, which I answered with, how are you? She never answered. That was a week ago. In 2 weeks, we share the same birthday. Should I contact her? That is a very good question. Because I'm a big believer that, as I was saying, if you have been dumped, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. And if they do contact you, you should reply. And from what you have said, you did that. Okay? Now, providing the reach out was positive, or I know you said it was a crumb, but providing it wasn't a negative crumb, then I like to work on the basis that if you have heard from your ex in a positive way within roughly the last month, and it was off their own back, and then in that period of time it is their birthday or some other special event, I do believe you have scope to send out a birthday greeting. So I don't know exactly what this crumb was. So this could be, okay, so she was praying I was well. Okay. So there is the potential that this was from the perspective of pity, and we don't know for certain. But I would say that you have the opportunity to consider sending out a message wishing your ex a happy birthday in this rare instance. It's very, very rare that everything comes together like this. My suggestion would be to wait towards the end of the day, because ideally you would like to see if your ex messages you first. If your ex doesn't contact you, then you have the option at the end of the day to potentially send your ex a happy birthday message. Now, this isn't necessarily going to mean your ex replies and it all goes fantastic. So you have to consider in your own mind whether you want to take this gamble, you might say, this risk. You only have the scope to do it because your ex reached out to you within 28 days. So you do have this possibility, but it is by no means certain it's going to work out well. But I would suggest that you wait towards the end of the day of your ex's birthday, just to see if they message you first. That would be ideal. And if you decide you would like to message your ex on their birthday, I would suggest you say something such as, "Happy birthday, I hope you have had a great day. Did you do anything nice?" ? A question on the end to try to generate a conversation. If you just put happy birthday, they've got no real reason to reply. But on the same hand, you don't want to be quizzing them. You don't want to be making them feel that you are trying to quiz exactly what they're doing and who with. So you need to be wording it in a very careful way, in a way which you think isn't going to make them feel uncomfortable. TG is here. Hello, TG. Thank you for the live. It's been 7 months of no contact. He's recently unblocked me on social media and now posts stuff all of the time. My friend says he's just trying to make me reach out. Should I? I mean, in my belief, my personal belief, is that if you have been dumped, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. So if your ex ended the relationship, then no, I do not suggest you contact your ex or react or comment or anything unless they make clear contact with you first. It is a very good sign you have been unblocked. But for me, all that means is that they are feeling a little bit more comfortable with you, probably thinking, look, I don't think they're going to bother me, and that's a good sign. So you don't want to be jumping the gun and overplaying it. So personally, I mean, look, nothing works 100% of the time, nothing fails 100% of the time. There's no magic formula. But we have to give ourselves the best possible chance of success. And I would say you have more chance of success by never contacting your ex again, unless they directly contact you first. I would also strongly suggest you don't check your ex's social media. It will never help you. It will only confuse you and cause you more anguish and pain. So I don't know if you can turn off notifications. I don't know if you can turn off things which notify you about their posts. But ideally, do not check their ex's social media. It will not help. So K4 has said, no, you shouldn't. She didn't answer. Don't double text. I mean, that's a good perspective for K4 to say. We're talking about the birthday message. I have a thought that if you've received positive contact from your ex within the last month or so, and it's their birthday in that time, then you do potentially have a scope to send a happy birthday. But K4's brought up something very valid. K4's brought up the fact that the positive contact was replied to, and then the dumper didn't reply back. So K4 brings up a very good point. Never double text. But it's something else that I say. So sometimes you have a position, you have a situation where there is no definitive route to success. There is no definitive correct answer. Both concepts contradict each other. I don't advise you double text. I also say you have the scope to reach out to an ex who has positively contacted you within the last month. You know, we've got a situation which kind of contradicts itself here. So what that shows is that it is a 50-50. There's nothing that is definitively going to go positively or negatively. And that is where Sabavid will have to use their own mindset, their own choice, their own gut feeling, you might say, on that. Adira said, feeling he has no intention of reaching out breaks my heart. Still, I'm getting hotter, working more, getting along with friends, and having small tours around. I mean, every bit of improvement that you do is wonderful. Every single day, try to become a better person than you were yesterday. That is what we should all be doing. I'm trying to do it. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Your ex isn't perfect. Nobody is perfect. So somebody who says they don't need to do any more self-improvement is somebody who is not achieving their goals. So we should always be striving to success. It's very, very painful, Adaya, thinking that they have no intention of reaching out breaks your heart. But the thing is, this is today. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We never know when the story ends. We never know what the future will showcase for any of us. Sabavida said, yes, always a question at the end. That was always excellent advice. But anytime next reaches out, you absolutely have to do it. Because I've spoke with so many dumpers who have said that they are very tentative in sending a message. Okay, they are nervous a lot of the time. And if they get a response back, which seems a bit blunt, they might think, oh gosh, they don't want to talk to me. My dumpy is unhappy. They don't want to talk. I'm not going to bother them. If your dumper messages you and says, hi, how are you? And you reply and say, good. That could come across to you as you responding positively. But that could come across to your dumper as you being somebody who is not really wanting to talk. You're not very open. And the best way to show that you're open is to tag on a question at the end. The challenge is to tag on a question which isn't prying too much, because it is a balancing act. You Hello, is this working? Are we working? Are we back? Is this working? I'm just going to see if anybody says this is working. We're back. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about this. I was speaking for like 10 minutes and then finding out. I just moved down the comments and then found out that there was no volume. I feel absolutely gutted. Oh, this is a nightmare. I really need to get up with my comments quicker. By the time I was answering everybody's questions. I moved down. It was like, yeah, we can't hear you. It's like, oh, my voice. And the worst bit is, I've totally lost my trail of thought. I'm so sorry for everybody that I lost. Really, it was She Prayed I Was Well. That is when it went wrong. Oh my gosh, that was ages ago. Oh. Okay, so to try to speed up very, very quickly, what I was basically saying was, I have a concept that if you have received positive contact from your ex within 28 days, then I believe you do have scope to reach out to them on their birthday, if they have a birthday within that time. But then on the same hand, we have an awkward situation where somebody received positive contact from their ex, they replied with a question, but then their ex didn't reply to that. So then we have a situation of, do we break the rule of double texting, or do we not use the opportunity to message on their birthday? And I was basically saying each individual person has to make that choice, because there's no guarantee that there's a right answer on this method. I'm sure I said an awful lot more than that as well. Blake said that hearing your voice live compared to videos is so interesting. Unless it's a different person, which it isn't. But well, I'll tell one positive thing from this is that I was wondering why everybody was leaving. It was going down to like 5 people. I thought, oh, I must be really boring tonight. At least I think that is why you all left. Thank you for coming back, though. I'm amazed people even tried. So I think we're just gonna have to start again. I'm really, really sorry for everybody that I missed. It's probably easiest if I just start from now again and try to keep up. So I apologise for everybody that I've kind of had to skip over when I was talking for 10 minutes with no mic working. Barbara said, I listened to all of your videos. Thank you, Barbara. I really appreciate that. Blake has said your videos are really helping me at the minute. Oh, that's really, really kind. You know, thank you so much for saying that. I'm glad that I can help as best I can. So where is everybody in the world right now? What countries, what continents are people in right now? TG has said, these videos give me life. Thank you, TG. So Blake is in the UK. K4 is in Canada. TG is in South Africa. Barbara is in Malaysia. It's incredible to try to support people from around the world. It really, really is. Now, Sabavida said your videos have helped greatly from Amsterdam. Wow. Again, thank you. It's just always so important to remember that your feelings now are your feelings today. They don't dictate your feelings tomorrow. You feel very sad right now, but that doesn't mean you're going to be feeling sad tomorrow, next month or next year. Adea is from Mexico. Callista's from Pennsylvania. And I had two listen to your videos. Thank you. Inserter. I was so hoping Inserter would come in today's stream. Inserter, this, in some respects, is... I was thinking I've got to do a stream for Inserter. Boss, so please, you're live. Thank you, Inserter. TG has said, so do I. I binge watch after work. Thank you, I appreciate you all. Barbara said, your videos helped me a lot in understanding what was happening to me. It helped me to be more confident and happy. Continue is also from Mexico. And Inserters back in Malaga. Great to have you here. Jeremy is in Cornwall. A beautiful part of the country. Inserter said, boss is my hero, thank you. And Barbara said, thank you very much. I appreciate everything you're all saying. For my next video, incidentally, I'm experimenting with a different type of thumbnail. I know my thumbnails aren't the best. I go for the thumbnail option of trying to be very clear and obvious. I know they can be much better. But the next time you see a video, the thumbnail will look quite a lot different, I think. So it will be from me, just in case you think, well, that's not going to be his. Jeremy said, it is very busy down here this year. I can imagine. Inserter, yeah, we've got a while left. What you missed so far, Inserter, was me talk for 10 minutes with the mic not working. Nicholas has said, check out Fiverr for a new logo. Thank you. I mean, I like my logo, but the thumbnails, you know, they need to be experimented with somewhat. But for me, the core thing is obviously the content. Just try to help people through challenging times. Madermia, is that how you pronounce your name? I do apologise if I get names wrong. Hey, well, hey to you too. Hello from India. Blake has said, where in the UK are you from, boss? So I'm just outside London. Miguel has said, after 2 weeks of no contact, I said sorry to my ex since some of the things I did made her break up. I did well there, right? Okay, so 2 weeks of no contact, I said sorry to my ex for some things. So it sounds like that you are the dumpy. I mean, I would suggest now certainly going into a no contact, Miguel, where you never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. I would say, but you've done everything you need to do now. Definitely. You know, I wouldn't really suggest breaking no contact to apologise once more, but it's done. You know, we can't look back. What's done is done, and now it is time to push forward. Mad her. I'm making this sound even worse now. Madhurima, I think that's how you pronounce it. Continue said, guys, just do no contact. No contact is for you to move on and to be emotionally stable. I'm on 3 months since our breakup and I feel indifferent for my ex-girlfriend. Well done. You know, it's very, very hard. Those first few months feel like years. They feel like years. And you've done so well. Keep going. Inserter said, boss, everything with this new lady, no red flags, but she isn't hitting the spot. I am still so wrapped up in my wife. I can't seem to get past her. I still want her back. Very, very understandable. You know, she was your wife. You had children with her. It's been many years that you were together. It's very understandable, Inserter, but keep moving forward. Keep trying to live a positive life. And things will start to get easier, slowly but surely. So Madarima said, does no contact work in long-distance relationships? It will work in the respect of helping yourself from your point of view. It will build intrigue and mystery around you for your ex. But long-distance relationships never last long-term, or very rarely last long-term. So that could have been the problem all along, potentially. So there needs to be a focus on thinking what you can do about that. Sabavida said, after 173 days of no contact, it was getting easier. Like you said, when she broke no contact, it took me by surprise. In some way, her breaking no contact made me feel I've won. Is that a common feeling? Absolutely. When you receive contact from your ex, it does feel like a victory. It feels like, okay, the scales of value are now certainly a lot more even. And after 173 days, you were perhaps thinking you was never going to get that message. And it doesn't happen to everybody. That's the truth. But it has happened to you, and you should feel so happy with that. Now, that doesn't mean you've got your ex back, but what it does mean is that your ex did think about you, they did miss you, and they did reach out. Blake has said, my ex broke up with me while he was on holiday, and I was looking after his dog. He said he'd bring me my case, which I borrowed, and my other stuff to me, but it's been 38 days of no contact and heard nothing. So 38 days of no contact might feel like eternity, but we have to kind of go back to the facts, which is, from what I see, is the average amount of time of no contact seems to be 6 months. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's days or weeks or a few months. And sometimes it's a lot longer. Sometimes it's years. I know of people who hear from their ex years after the breakup. And occasionally, somebody will never hear from their ex again. The point I'm saying is that 38 days is a very painful amount of time, but it is still a very short amount of time. So K4 said, do you think it's unwise to pursue a casual relationship with an ex? It was actually this K4 that I spoke of for 10 minutes before. I now remember. This is what I was speaking of when I lost connection. So I hope I don't lose connection now. What I was saying was, you've gone through a very challenging time, K4, with your current ex. And anything that can give you a little bit of happiness, I think, is a good thing. Okay? Two adults who make adult decisions to have adult connections can make their own decisions. So if you and your previous ex decide to have a casual connection, then I believe that is a good thing to take your mind off things. At the end of the day, everything's a risk. Exes, new people, previous partners, everything potentially could end. Everything potentially could last forever. You have to take that risk. So I wouldn't be too worried about getting hurt again, because trust me, enjoying some positivity is going to be much better than sitting at home alone feeling upset. So I would suggest, if you and your former partner want to do something like that, then go for it. If it makes you both happy for a time, that's better than not being happy. Barbara said, I'm still doing no contact. I don't text or anything from him. I don't even think about him much anymore. I mean, that is really, really good. It's very challenging, but you can keep going and keep doing things which are working for you. Insertra said, I've had counselling, exercise, studied, talked to friends, long walks, went back to the UK for 6 months, had 5 other women, but still can't stop wanting her. It's very, very powerful. Your ex-wife is somebody who is always going to be part of your life story, Inserter. And even though things will get easier, it is going to be a challenge, but you keep going. You can do this, and I believe in you. Norrell has said, what to do if I saw my ex-girlfriend and she saw me in the grocery store, but she didn't say hi to me. It seems like our past relationship didn't exist, or I didn't exist in her life, and she monkey branched. I mean, personally, I would suggest, never contacting your ex again unless they contact you first. And if you are to bump into them in a social situation, smile and then carry on with your day. Smile, say hello and carry on. And then you're not waiting around to see if they say anything to you. I mean, of course, unless they literally stop you. K4 is wondering how long Inserter's relationship was. TG has said, how do we know if a rebound is an actual rebound, or if the other person was there all along? I mean, I would say try not to get hung up on dating labels, because at the end of the day, they're just dating labels. And although most rebound relationships end within a few months, some of them do evolve into more serious, substantial relationships. So we can't say every connection that has rebound red flags is going to end after a few months, because occasionally some of them evolve into something more serious. So instead of trying to diagnose whether something is officially a rebound or not, I would just say that, look, if this has rebound red flags, then there is an enhanced chance it won't last forever, and use that as a shield to protect yourself as you push forward on your own life journey. Miguel has said, thank you so much. I feel guilty about it, so I really needed to say sorry to her. Now go no contact indefinitely. Yeah, you've done what you've done. And there's no right answers, there's no wrong answers. Nothing works 100% of the time. Nothing fails 100% of the time. Whatever anybody says, there's no definitive answer to this. You've got to try to do your best and muddle your way through this challenging time. And Sergio said, is it too late for me to reattract her? I was with her for 23 years. She was my world. Your best chance of reattracting her is to live your own life, be a positive person, and you've always got the connection of your children. So there will always be the opportunity for your ex, if she wants to hear about you and speak to you, to do that, because you are only one connection away. She could ask your children about you. So if your ex ever wants to reconnect with you, it would be very easy for her to do so. So try not to feel fearful on that and just live your life. K4 said 23 years is a long time. It could take years of no contact. People generally don't walk away after 23 years and come back fast. Thanks for the insight, Vincent. Well, thank you, K4, for waiting so long for my mic to work again. Blake has said, what do you think is a reasonable time to reach out for my belongings? I want to wait for him to offer to bring it to me, like I said, but I can't hold on to that hope forever. I mean, I would say be honest with yourself. How valuable are your belongings? How seriously do you need your belongings? If you genuinely, seriously, importantly need them, then, you don't have to wait too much longer. If you need them, you need them. Now, if they are a pair of socks, if they are something that you're just trying to use as a tool to speak to your ex, then I would say never contact them again. If it's a pair of socks, if it's something that's not overly valuable, if it's a pen, if it's something that deep down you don't really need, I would never necessarily reach out. I would just look at it as, what would happen if you had lost this item? Is this something you truly need? Don't make excuses for excuses' sake. Mountain has said, I've suddenly been ghosted by a girl after dating for a month. What should I do, Vincent? So sadly, if you have been ghosted by somebody, it would generally mean that they are feeling that there's something not quite right within the connection. So my thoughts would be to just go into a no contact and never contact them again unless they contact you first. I mean, ultimately, you've been dating a month, they've completely vanished, and the likelihood is that sadly means that they don't want to communicate with you at this time. Sabavida said, thoughts on her not returning my 2 watches. One was a past birthday gift. These aren't exactly a sweatshirt. I don't care, but given she never did return them, do you keep them acting as the spark to discuss? I mean, it's an interesting thing. They're obviously very valuable from what you were saying. But, if one was a birthday gift, is that from you to your ex? Then they might not feel they have to return it. Again, I would try not to read too much into whether it is being used as a tool to discuss later on. And just think, again, do you genuinely need these things? Or don't you? That is what you need to be thinking. Mountain has said she only split up with her boyfriend around a month before we met. I've tried to message her a few times, but she ignores me. Okay, so you've reached out. You certainly should never contact her again unless she contact you first. It's possible, Mountain, that you was her rebound. We met for we met quite a bit for a month, then all of a sudden she's gone. Sadly, you could have been her rebound if she just got out of a previous relationship. TG said, last one. What's your take on manifesting your ex back or voodoo? Or is that a sham? Look, I don't like to push my viewpoints on people. People can believe in what they want to believe. I'm not saying this is rubbish or that is rubbish for you to think. All I can say is my own beliefs, and I do not follow those thoughts. Okay? I do not follow those thoughts. regarding manifesting your ex back, you could look at that in some type of positive sense, such as like, if you improve your life and do enough of the right things whilst trying to manifest your ex back, then maybe you increase the chance. But that is not due to you sitting down wishing them to come back. It's because you are using it as fuel to live a better life. TG has said, in one of your videos you spoke about how sometimes exes may feel scared to reach out out of fear of rejection. Is there a way around that? I mean, I would say that in essence it has to get to the point where that fear is something they just overcome, because then they are over that pressure point, they are over that moment of being scared. But more importantly, what it means is navigate the communication stage effectively, because the point of that comment was that they might be nervous, they might be scared, and if they do reach out, if you respond in a way which sounds negative, aggressive, argumentative, needy, if you make a mistake, you might say, then they are probably going to be frightened off. So there isn't so much what you can do per se, but just if you get that contact, try not to make a mistake. Blake has said, it's my suitcase which I borrowed for him. Another thing's worth over £100. I don't need them, but I want them, and it's more of a principle. I think it's just rude to return stuff when you offer. I mean, I completely agree. I understand that, Blake. I mean, okay, so you don't need them urgently, but you would like them. So with you not needing them urgently, I would suggest trying to wait a little longer. But at the end of the day, they're your possessions and you have every right to ask for them. If you do ask for them, I would try to send a direct message, keep on topic. Just try to showcase yourself as having a positive mindset. So I would say something such as, hi, I hope you're well. I was just wondering when I can collect my stuff. Or something like that. Just keep it on point and on topic. Inserter said, boss, what do I do with this new lady? I've told her how broken I am and healing and still love my wife. I told her I'm not ready to commit, but fine to meet up. I'm around to keep seeing her. You've told her the truth. You've told her the truth. You've been honest. And this new person is an adult. They can make an adult decision. You've been genuine. If they still want to meet you on those terms, then I would say still meet them. Nicholas has said, how do you build attraction if you don't have each other added on social media, location services disabled, deleted, or mutual friends, and I don't post any photos on social media for her to see? What you would have to then use is the power of no contact, is the fading effect bias, all of these things which luckily you don't technically need to do something for. It is the illusion of action. You don't have to do something because those things will work in your favour in the long run. Now, this doesn't mean your ex will grow enough attraction necessarily to want to reconnect with you, but just your absence and time moving forward will create things such as the fading effect bias, in which negative memories fade sooner than positive memories, and your ex will likely have a happier viewpoint of you. You never know if and when they reflect, your ex might contact you. Mountain has said, thanks Vincent for your reply. Mountain, I'm so sorry I couldn't give you something more positive on that, but well done for getting into a new connection, and the next one could come along again soon. Inserter said, boss, how's the course going? Thanks, Inserter. So I was working earlier on in the year on a breakup recovery course. So it's a breakup recovery course. It helps with breakup recovery. You're probably not surprised to hear. But also it has advice on trying to get your ex back, how to meet new people, online dating advice, texting tips, how to respond to certain things. It's got everything packed in. And I released the course, must be about 6 weeks ago now. So it's going really well, thank you. I've had some positive feedback. It's good because it has different elements. It has listening elements, which are like, 2 minutes, 3 minutes or so of me talking here and there, peppered around the course. There's reading, there are quiz elements, there are practice like texting elements, examples. It's pretty much full of everything. So if you want to recover from a breakup, if you want to try to get your ex back, if you want to try to find somebody new, I do recommend it. It was basically 5 months making this course. If you want to find more details on it, it's on my website, dateme.tips, along with my coaching services. You might find that the course is something beneficial. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop. However you want to go about doing it, it should work for you. Sabavida said, V, it's not the stuff, I don't care. It's more interested in if it's anything to do with attraction building on her end. The watches, one is mine and the other she gave to me as a birthday gift. I personally wouldn't read too much into that. I'm not saying it's not the case, but it's more about I don't like to make definitive thoughts on things which can't be definitively guaranteed. So, could it be the case? Yes. Is it likely the case? Probably not. It's probably reading a little bit too much into it. But ultimately, your ex does definitely have some, a reason now to reach out to you. So that is always a positive. Inserter said, boss, is it okay to try to flirt with my wife when making arrangements for the kids? I wouldn't flirt unless it was very clear that your ex was open to that. You know her better than me. If she seemed open and positive with that, then of course, you could do that. But I wouldn't do it off the cuff. The last you told me is your ex wanted a divorce. I don't know if things have changed, but she doesn't sound particularly like she would enjoy flirting at this time. Kay Forrester, I checked my ex's YouTube profile. She subscribed to a Manifest Your Ex Back channel. She probably subscribed to it before she met her new partner. I believe she wanted me back before. Oh well. This is one of those classic examples of we just don't know. And you could drive yourself crazy in trying to figure this one out. And this is why you should never check your ex's social media, and that includes their YouTube channel. Because it's just going to drive you crazy. All we know for certain is that your ex hasn't contacted you to reconnect. So that is all we know. Anything else is an assumption. So I would suggest not checking your ex's social media. All it is a tool to torture yourself. And you don't need that. You don't want that. Jamara said, my ex left in late June, but we still dated for 2 weeks after the breakup. Then out of nowhere, silence and distance from him. So that must have been a very unusual situation. I don't quite understand how you broke up and then carried on dating. That sounds like you never really broke up, but again, every connection and breakup is different. What it seems like, though, is that he is now obviously becoming more distant, and this seems a lot more real. I would suggest never contacting your ex again unless your ex contacts you first. That is what I would say from right now. Sabavida said, she said she would send me, she said she would send to me, but never did. Okay, if you feel that your ex has your possessions, you have every right to send a message about that. I would suggest being positive, sending a hi, hope you are well. I was just wondering, when can I pick up this, and this? If they're your possessions, you do have a legal right for them. But I would suggest trying to do this in a way which is not drama. You don't want to be causing drama. If this is going to cause drama, don't do it. Okay? The last thing you want is drama. Inserter said, so happy the boss is on tonight. Thanks, Inserter. You're very kind. Nicholas has said, been in no contact for 13 months. And how are you feeling now, Nicholas? K4 said, yeah, it's a good time for a live. Has dating hooked up helped you at all yet? Do you regret any of it? Mountain has said, I got over my ex, then met this new girl, but now feel terrible again after being completely ignored. Maybe I was a bit too full on, and we met up too many times. I was very attracted to her. Mountain, try and take the positives. The fact that you did meet somebody else that you found attractive. Because previously you probably wondered, you probably thought that was never going to happen. This can be used as evidence that you can find happiness again. So Inserter said, K4, every woman I met up with and one I lived with saw a future together, but I wasn't ready. Yes, great experience, and I'm still talking to them all. Good on you, Inserter. Jamara said, Boss, hi, love your channel. Thanks, Jamara. Can I get my ex back from pleading and begging for a little for like a month? Will no contact still be effective? It'll be effective as soon as you start. It's a little bit like quitting smoking. You know, some people say, is it too late to quit smoking? I've been smoking for 50 years. Is it too late? It's never too late. As soon as you stop smoking, the health benefits start to come to you. As soon as you start no contact, the benefits will start to come to you. It's never too late. Okay? You can achieve your goals. And that might not be getting your ex back. But ultimately, everybody's goal is to feel happy, is to feel fulfilled. And if you do everything right, you will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better. Mountain said, the last message I sent was last Sunday and she didn't reply, so I've left it. Very, very tough to take, Mountain, but you've done the right thing. There's no point in begging or pleading. That will not bring this new person back. Sabavida said, dating hasn't helped. I'm dating 4 women casually and still can't get over my ex, laugh out loud. K4 laughs at that. I mean, the thing is, anything you can do which is positive to take your mind off your ex, even temporarily, is a good thing. I've totally lost out. I'm not at the foot of the comments again now, so let's hope you can still hear me, because last time I went off track and by the time I got to the bottom you couldn't. Blake has said, why would exes keep stuff that obviously isn't theirs? I just don't understand. Surely if you're over someone, you'd want to cut all ties with them. There can be many reasons, and again, it would be, bad to speculate. Sometimes, for whatever reason, they didn't give the possession straight away, and then they feel awkward, and they just don't want to contact their ex again because they don't want to get into the drama. Occasionally, very occasionally, it can be used as a tool that they have an excuse to reach out later, but that is minimal. We're probably talking less than 10%, probably less than 5%, so don't hold on to that. But it is possible. It's just best not to speculate. K4 has said, some exes like to keep an excuse to contact in the future, just in case things don't work out as planned. Continue said, guys, if a girl or guy tells you to move on within 1 month of a breakup, walk away. Walking away is the most powerful thing you can do. They are suppressing the grief stage, but they will grieve. Everybody has to self-reflect. Everybody will go through that moment. Arama said, what if my ex married the very next month? After we were separated, we have 4 kids. It is still a rebound. And what are the chances of getting back together? We were together for 14 years. I mean, that's crazy. Getting married so quickly afterwards. But that's classic rebound behaviour to the extreme. Do I think this marriage is going to last forever? I would tend to think it's unlikely, but you never know. But unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll get your ex back. It just means that this marriage is unlikely to last long term. What are your chances of hearing from your ex again? Well, you've got a lot of history. It is certainly possible. TG said we can still hear you. That is a good thing. No contact in lockdown is the most difficult thing yet. Absolutely. For some places in the world, lockdown is still very strong. Emma said, my ex is still stalking my social media and messages me sometimes. Well, that just shows that there is something going on in that regard. I would try my hardest to not focus on the messages and the social media, because at the end of the day, he is married now to somebody else. Blake has said, what do you think about my ex viewing on my Instagram stories? As I've kind of been saying, social media is never going to help you. Checking your ex's social media, checking their behaviour online will never ever help. We can try to come to conclusions, but ultimately the only thing that matters is, are they sending a direct message to you? If they are not, then they're not wanting anything further. So, what do I think? Well, obviously it's good in some respects because they're interested in your life. but that doesn't mean they're at the point of wanting to reconnect. And hence it can drive you crazy. So I strongly suggest do not check your ex's social media. Do not check if your ex has seen your stories. I don't know if there's a way to turn these notifications off or not, but if you can, then you should. Sabavida said, one of your better videos on no contact was the one on how in the beginning time moves slowly, but I found that when you hit the third month, you stop counting the days and you realise weeks just fly by. It's definitely true that people in the first few days of no contact feel like it's forever. And then after a few weeks, you think, well, those days, they felt so hard, but now we're weeks, and then the same with months. And if you get to a year, you think, gosh, I can't believe I was so, struggling day by day, and now we're at a year. Time definitely changes. Mountain said, I seem to get hung up on every girl that dumps me. It is because, unfortunately, there is nothing more attractive than rejection. There is nothing more attractive than rejection. You could decide you want to apply for a few jobs. One of those jobs is one you don't really care about as much, but you think I'll do it anyway. I haven't got my heart set on this job, but I'll apply anyway. You have an interview, and then you're told, unfortunately, you are not being offered the job. The first thing you think is, well, why not? Why aren't you offering me this job? Okay? And you didn't even want it, but because you were rejected, you wanted it. There is nothing more attractive than rejection. When somebody rejects us, when somebody dumps us, they automatically become 10, 20, 30, 40 times more attractive in our mind. Sabavida said, do you really think COVID has prolonged exes from breaking no contact? You did a video on this. It's been fascinating. Okay, absolutely fascinating. During the most strenuous lockdowns, there was a spike in long-term dumpers reaching out to dumpies. People who hadn't heard from their exes in months or years, when it was a very hard lockdown with a lot less things for people to be doing and occupying their mind. So that was fascinating to see. But now we're in a position where the world is starting to open up. People want to get out there. They want to live their life for the first time in a year, 18 months. And this is really showcasing itself in dumpers living a longer single honeymoon period. Because what you are finding is that people who ended relationships at the start of lockdown or during lockdown, they never got to live the honeymoon life. And they need to go through that. Irma has said, but is there still a chance of getting him back? Because how can someone move on after 14 years so quickly in 1 month? I'm worried because we have 4 kids. Please reply to my comment. I am replying. I hope you can still hear me. Look, there is always a chance of anything happening. People who say there is 0 chance of this, 0 chance of that, or 100% chance of this, 100% chance of that, they are all telling you false stories. Because the truth is, nobody knows. Whilst we are alive, anything is possible. That is a way to look at it. I've heard some of the craziest stories. I've had clients speak to me about exes they haven't heard from in over a decade contact them. 10 years. So when we think of these things, we have to understand that there is always a chance. We never know when the story ends. So is there a chance of you hearing from your ex again? Is there a chance of getting your ex back? Yes, there is a chance. But what are the odds? Well, I can't give you official odds because nothing official exists. But we have to look at the position. I believe you said your ex is now married to somebody else. If that is the case, then the chance of you getting your ex back are minimal. That are the facts. But you also said he's still contacting you, he's still looking at your social media. There's obviously still a connection. You have 4 children. So what are the odds for you? What are the odds for Inserter, who is also somebody who has come out of a marriage? We have to look at it and say there is always a chance, but currently your chances are small. And ultimately, life is judged on fulfillment, satisfaction and happiness. And if you can't have your ex right now, you can have the next best thing, which is finding somebody new, finding somebody even better. Inserter said, boss, do you believe that you should never take an ex back? I believe that every relationship is different, every breakup is different, every aftermath is different. There is no black and white rule on this. Some people that I speak to on my coaching, I say to them, they come to me and they say, help me get my ex back. I hear the story and I say, I don't think you should take them back. Your ex sounds bad news. Then there are some people I speak with on my coaching calls and I say, yeah, this sounds a good possibility. This sounds somebody who, if you could reconnect, this would be great for you both. So every situation is different. So do I believe that you should never take an ex back? No. Not as a hard and fast rule. Some people shouldn't, and some people should. Sabavida said, since it's Saturday, can you give us one of those crazy stories? Since it's Saturday. Well, I suppose Saturday is a good enough day as ever. Okay, so I heard a story. I'm going to change some of the details because, the person probably isn't listening. This is somebody who I did coaching with years ago. And I'm going to change some of the details to protect privacy, obviously. But there was a situation where this person was telling me a story about their relative. And the story regarding their relative was about a getting your ex back story. So this relative heard from their ex for the first time in 30 or so years, because the ex went to the area, the town, the village where they used to live, went to the local shops and started actually asking whether they knew this person. So I was speaking with a client about their own situation, but they told me the story about their relative who heard from their ex from a shopkeeper who they knew because they lived there all their life. And it turned out this ex had gone to the shopkeeper and said, look, does so-and-so still live round here? Do they still visit here? We was together 30 years ago. And that is how they reconnected. And I spoke to my client and I said, look, you don't need me to give you a story of hope. You've got your own story of hope. You've got your own story of hope from your own relative. 30 years. I never spoke to this person directly, so I don't really quote this per se. This was the relative of somebody I spoke to. But I think that's a pretty crazy story. Evelilium. Chatted with my ex a couple of times after the breakup. 2 months now. Seemed positive. I feel it was out of pity. After 3 weeks of no contact, she blocked and deleted me off everything. I feel like she moved on. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's possible it was out of pity. I wouldn't like to say for certain without knowing obviously all the facts. The important thing is that you did your best. All we can do is our best. And there is no guarantee that you will be blocked forever. I know of plenty of people who have been unblocked in the future. So the important thing now is to focus on your own journey moving forward. Okay, so TG has said, so boss, what's the most common thing that you found that most of the dumpers will tell you when you interview them that will help us dump you feel a little better? I think probably the fact that they never forget you. Okay, it's very easy as a dumpee to worry about your ex forgetting you, to think that your ex felt your relationship meant nothing, all of those things. That is not the case. In the vast, vast, vast majority of instances, dumpers do not want to hurt dumpees. Dumpers do value their relationship. Dumpers will never forget their former partner. But it's just in the moment they're not feeling enough romantic emotional attraction. That is why they make the decisions they do. But if you want to feel a little better, but please remember, your ex will always remember you. You will never be forgotten. And the triggers are everywhere. Okay? You will always be remembered. Continuer said, everything in this world has an expiration date. That goes with relationships. We had our term with that partner and our time is up. Learn from experience and don't do the same mistakes again. I certainly agree with don't do the same mistakes again. At the end of the day, you have to grow, you have to move forward. And if two people are growing in different directions, then possibly at the end of the relationship, they are no longer compatible. That is something we have to consider. Miguel has said, If it was a long distance relationship but a special one, you should move on after 4 months of no contact. Some coaches say that after a period of time the connection starts to fade away. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't really like the term move on. I use the term move forward, and you should move forward from day one. You should move forward on day one of being broken up with. That means daily self-improvement. That means getting yourself out there. That means being a better person today than you were yesterday. That means making new connections. So you should never be waiting. Never wait, never sit down, never clock watch. We only have one life. This isn't a dress rehearsal. If you're going to get your ex back, it won't make a difference as to whether you was living your life or whether you were sitting at home. So you may as well be living your life. There is no point in sitting at home, feeling sad, feeling down, when you could be living your life. It's not going to affect your chances of getting your ex back. In fact, if anything, it will negatively affect your chances if you sit at home. Crawford has said, why won't my ex come pick up her stuff? It's been almost 3 months. She's dating a new guy and won't return my phone calls or texts. Unfortunately, I obviously don't know for certain as for why your ex won't do that. But look, you've tried to contact your ex. You're not getting a response. I would suggest putting your ex's stuff in a safe place, in a box, put it out of sight, and keep it for the foreseeable future. If you still haven't heard anything in a number of months or years' time, then you can deal with that then. Blake has said, do you think it's good to hold on to hope of one day maybe reconnecting when trying to move on and improve your life? I think you should do anything which helps you in a positive way move forward every day. So if the thought that you will hear from your ex again helps you through each day, then yes, keep that thought. It's a positive thought. It's a thought that's not doing any harm. If that thought helps you get out of bed in the day, then yes, convince yourself it's going to happen, because who knows, it might. It could easily happen. We can't guarantee it, but it could happen. So certainly anything positive, when I say positive, I mean, I don't mean drink, for instance. I don't mean get drunk every day. That wouldn't be deemed as a positive. But anything positive you can do to help you through each and every day, you should be doing. And Sergio said, boss, why do we get so hung up on our exes? It's because we're in love. And love is so powerful. And plus, in most instances, you're dumb peas, and the most attractive thing in the world is being rejected. Sabavida said, regarding continue, I'm not sure that's true, especially if you feel in your gut there is some unfinished business. Respect the block. I nearly skipped one then. Yeah, at the end of the day, there is sometimes a feeling of unfinished business, but there has to be a mutual feeling from both people. And of course, we only know from our own perspectives how we feel at that time. As Lilium said, it was too hard emotionally to talk to her. I'm proud I stood my ground and committed to no contact. I kept my dignity, and thank you. Been working on myself. Some days are harder than others, though. Well, thank you for being part of my channel community. Look, you're going to have difficult days. Even if you feel you're fully recovered, you're going to have challenging, dark days. This doesn't mean that you can't live a positive life. Okay? But you're going to have bumps in the road, and you've just got to keep going over them. Jabs has said, respect the blocking. Absolutely. Remember that, everybody. Respect the blocking. Okay, look, if you've been blocked, don't cheat the blocking. Don't cheat it. It's not going to help you. Don't try and be clever and say, oh, well, they've blocked me on this social media, but they haven't blocked me on this messaging app, so I'll message them there. That's not going to help you. Okay, they don't want to talk to you. Okay, think of it this way. If somebody doesn't want to talk to you, do you think finding a way to talk to them is going to help, or do you think it's going to annoy them? If you've been blocked on something, you've been blocked on everything. K Forrest said, my old ex messaged me and wanted me back. 1 year no contact. I was with my current ex and moved on. Forget them to the point where you no longer care and watch them try to come back. It's amazing how many people have previous exes wanting to contact them, but they are not interested because they're hung up on their current ex. Jamara said, I always get teary-eyed when you say your ex will never forget you. I mean, it is an emotional thing to consider, but it's a very powerful and honest thing to hear. Your ex will never forget you. You're part of their life story. You're part of their life story. And Sertra said, boss, what's the best why therapy to get to a couple to build their relationship, best sort of counselling? Relationship and couples counselling is the best. I actually provide that service. I don't advertise it because it's rare that I do that. In regards to, normally I'm speaking to people who either want to meet somebody new or want to get their ex back. It's not as often that I speak to couples, but I am qualified to do that. But yes, relationship and couples counselling is what you need. Somebody's just said no sound. Jamaro said no sound. Please tell me that's a joke. I'm looking at it. It looks like there is sound. I don't know what's gone on. Continue said, this is the most precious thing we have on earth. It can't be bought and we must cherish it. Our time is valuable and if one person leaves, let them. It's their loss and your gain. Miguel has said, yeah, you're right. We should live our lives and move forward. But when it was a really special relationship for both, since I was her first in many things, it's difficult to have the will to live without her. Miguel, you will do this. Okay, I promise you, every single one of you, with or without your ex, you will have a positive future. It is possible and it will happen. You will always be special to your ex. Your ex will always be special to you. Please, please remember that you will have a positive future. Jabs has said, well, Jabs is just laughing. Incetra said, boss, what is the top reason ex has come back? My belief system is on romantic emotional attraction. So for me, it's as simple as that. If and when they grow enough romantic emotional attraction, that is when they will reconnect once more. Blake has said, I heard some coaches say days 42 to 56 are the period where you'll most likely hear from your ex. What do you think of that? I mean, I don't like to comment per se on what other people comment on and say. You know, it's their judgment, it's their opinion. All I can say is that is not something I would say. They are likely basing this on some type of scientific study regarding something such as habits, probably. But look, I believe that romantic relationships are a very different entity to other things that people might compare this type of thing with. Look, for me and my research, it is much, much longer than that. From the people I've spoke to, and that is a lot of people, I've seen that the average amount of time for a dumper to reach out to a dumpee is within and around the 6-month period. I mean, I did a podcast about this not too long ago. I had a couple of comments in that very podcast. One person said it's been 7 months for me. One person said it's been 5. As you can see, that seems to be the average amount of time. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it never happens. But 42 to 56 days, I mean, for me, that is very, very quick. Thank you, JW. You can hear me. K4 says that. Blake says that. TJ says that. So everybody can hear me. Okay, well, that's a good thing. If you like my voice, that is. And Sertra said, coming through loud and clear. Shamara has just donated. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that super chat. Thank you, Jamara. Genuinely, it helps keep the channel going. You know, anybody who is kind enough to donate, I really appreciate it. Another way you can support the channel is by joining Motivation Club. Motivation Club now has nearly 100 videos. We have nearly 100 videos locked away. They're not as long as my regular podcasts. They're a few minutes each. And they're all focused on motivation. The clue's in the name, you might say. But we've got nearly 100 videos locked away. I create new videos for Motivation Club every single week. As soon as you subscribe to Motivation Club, you have access to the entire back catalogue for the duration of your membership. It's access through the YouTube channel. It's the membership option. You click join. I heard a rumour that if you're on iOS, you might only be able to do it via a laptop or something. I don't know. I think if you're using Android. I think it might just be on your app. But basically on my channel, there should be something that says join. That is how you join Motivation Club. Then you click on my community tab, and on the community tab you scroll down, and you will see tons and tons and tons of Motivation Club videos hidden away that nobody else can see. They are only for Motivation Club members. So if you want to support the channel, that is an option where you obviously get something like for it as well. But thank you so much, Jamara. Jabs has said she broke up with me and I gave her 3 weeks and proposed. She had mixed feelings and had been in no contact for about 2 months. So she broke up with me and I gave her 3 weeks and proposed. She had mixed feelings and been no contact. So proposing to somebody when they have a relationship, that is very much like a grand gesture, and very unfortunately it's unlikely to work. But we will have to see, obviously, if she gets back in contact with this. Niva said, boss, what do you think about situationship breakup? Are they real? I mean, it depends on the level of situationship. Every situationship can be to differing degrees of how serious they are. But, you know, ultimately, if you're intimate with somebody, then there is a level of connection there. So I would say certainly the same rules pretty much still apply. Mountain has said, I've been speaking to my ex recently, but I don't think I have the attraction like I used to from me dating this new girl. We've been texting most days and she have met me at the pub last. That's unbelievable. So now you're in a position, Mountain, that you probably would have loved to have been in months ago, and now you're not even that fussed. And that just shows how mindsets can change. Continuer said, exes come back because they monkey branch and it didn't work out. But remember, do you want someone that's been intimate with someone with God knows who and what they was doing, never take an ex back? I mean, that is your thoughts, that's your prerogative. I don't necessarily agree with everything that you've said there, but that is your choice. Everybody is allowed their own opinion. Mountain has said, but I don't seem to have the same attraction now. She avoided me from January this year, but it shows she avoided you in January and now she's meeting up with you and now you're not bothered. It shows how things can change. Jamara has been incredibly kind again. Oh, thank you so much, Jamara. Another donation. I genuinely, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't understand why my ex said I didn't call because I felt you didn't want to talk. Does he want me to chase him? So let me read that again. I don't understand why my ex said I didn't call because I felt you didn't want to talk. I mean, every situation will be based on the relationship, the breakup and the aftermath. So I don't know exactly how that panned out for you, but your ex was obviously in a position where he didn't feel you would like to talk. So I don't know what happened during the breakup and the aftermath. Also, like I've said previously, dumpers do feel some concern sometimes, and eventually they will get to a stage where even though they feel nervous, they don't think you want to talk, they'll just go for it. You know, I've spoke to dumpers who've said they considered messaging their dumpy a couple of times before they did because they was a bit scared, they was frightened. But the point is, if and when they do, the pressure has got that much that they truly, truly want to. Sabavida said, continue, I agree with you regarding time, but only you and your ex know the depth of a romantic connection you had. As I said, Shamara, thank you so much for your kind donation. I truly appreciate it. Very, very thank you indeed. So Mountain has said, great channel you have, Vincent. I watch religiously Monday, Wednesday, Friday and tonight. Thank you, Mountain. It's really great. And I appreciate you recognise the schedule I try to set. I had somebody ask me the other day, do I have a schedule? I thought for like the last 18 months, it's been Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, yeah. And incidentally, for Motivation Club, I generally upload on the Tuesday or the Thursday. Not always those days. Sometimes Motivation Club is a bit different. But then, like I said, you also have a back catalogue as well. And we now have roughly, it's just about 100 videos on Motivation Club and growing. Anybody who wants to join gets access to all of the content. And also you're helping the channel out as well. If you want to do so, just click the join button on my YouTube channel and it will explain what you have to do. And Sergio said, when you get back together, who is getting the second chance? I mean, it's a good way of looking at it. I would say you both are in a way. Sabarida said, continue. Boss did a video on Monkey Branch versus Grass is Greener. Depends on your story. Yeah, I did. I mean, God, that was a long time ago now. I probably need to redo that one, to be honest, in a modern way. I always like to rehash my videos because sometimes concepts change, theories change, and I like to refresh what I put out there. And that one probably does need a newer video on it. But absolutely, it does depend on your unique situation. Miguela said, thank you for your words. You're the first coach to respond to me, and that means a lot. We're at our lowest point. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate you being part of my channel community. I always try my hardest. Anybody who's in here, please subscribe. Please ring the bell for notifications. And we're going to try to make this the greatest and best relationship, dating, breakup channel on the internet. Chabiz said, Vince, do you believe in taking exes back? I believe that for some people it's the right thing to do, and I believe for other people it's not the right thing to do. I currently have, for instance, more than one client who I'm advising not to take their ex back, and I've got more than one client who I'm advising to try and get their ex back. So it completely depends on your situation. Everything is different. Shauna said, I've been in no contact for 5.5 months, dropped 80 pounds, and I'm a new person. I don't know if I want my ex back now, but I find it's hard to move on. It's a weird circle of wanting but not wanting. You're doing so well, Sean. Keep going. Keep moving forward. You're going to find happiness. And the way you're going, you're going to find somebody even better than your ex. 2022 can be all of yours, best year of your life. Okay? Let's start working, let's start moving forward, and let's prepare for a fantastic 2022. Jamara has said, you're welcome. Your channel has helped me immensely, especially those late nights when I'm in so much despair and pain. I'm sorry to hear this, Jamara. You will get through this. You will find happiness again. I promise you that. Sabavida said, it said that 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Boss, is that true with couples who aren't married in your experience? From my experience, my client base is very much nearly 50-50. Okay? I have ladies who I speak to as clients who feel that men are causing, all of the problems in the world. And I have men who are clients who are informing me in their opinion that women are causing all of the problems in the world. Everybody sees things from their own perspective. Every perspective is different. As far as I can see, is that men and women are very different in a lot of ways regarding attraction, intimacy, all of those types of things. But when it comes to breakups, as far as I can see, men and women are instigating, are being dumped, are the dumpers, are the dumpies, a very similar amount. That is my experience. I don't know the official true facts on things. And Sergio said, Boss, have you got a full video on the beginning to end of getting through a breakup? About a year ago or so, I did a few different mini-series. I think I did the Dumper Experience, parts 1, 2 and 3. The Dumpy Experience, I think I called it Dumpy Stages 1, 2 and 3. And I did a Get Your Ex Back 1, 2 and 3. So that's probably the best I've done so far. Not so much in one long video though. If you was more interested in that, that is probably where the Breakup Recovery course would really help you. That's got listening elements, reading elements, quiz elements. All of that information can be found on my website, dateme.tips. So Evelyn has said, do you believe that anyone is truly capable of long-lasting change? Absolutely. I've seen people make fantastic change. You can do it, but you need the motivation. Continue has said, people get hung up on exes because they hold on to an image of their ex, who they were and not who they are. That's a very good point. We have to remember that at the time of a relationship starting, we are in that position. But as the relationship progresses, we are both growing in directions. Is it the same direction? Is it different directions? Who knows? But by the end, we can sometimes be very far apart. Now, I must say, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap this stream up in the next couple of minutes. If you definitely want your comment read, please send a super chat and I will try to focus on yours, because I'm a little bit behind on the comments. Just a couple more minutes, I'm going to have to go. My voice is going. And this time it won't be the mic that fails, it'll be my voice. But I will try to keep up as best I can. Continue has said, oh no, sorry, I've just read that one. So Inserter has said, the laws in the West are breaking up marriages. That's an interesting point. Miguel has said, I know I will make with or without my ex. The thing is, but it hurts like hell when you give everything for someone and want it to be them, and then it all falls apart. It's very, very painful. But we have to remember that a relationship takes two people to have a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. And if one or both people lose that attraction, then unfortunately they do not feel fulfilled in that relationship. Glamorous Sparkle. Hello, Glamorous. It's been 11 months. Is it too late? I never did no contact. So we were saying earlier, it's never too late to start no contact. Now is the time, Glamorous Sparkle. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, but what we can say is that to live a positive life, to help yourself, to increase the chance of getting your ex back, to increase your chance of finding somebody even better, my version of a no contact rule is going to give you the best chance of all of those things, and it's time to start today. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, please ring the bell for notifications, and start your journey. Continue said, believe in no contact, guys, stay strong, and one day you'll come out a better person. Absolutely. I echo those words. Inserter said, boss, really made my week tonight. Thank you so much for your time. My hero. Wow, Inserter, that's really, really kind. But, you know, you are your own hero. You have come from the depths of despair, and you have done so well. And you're going to continue to do well. And you're going to continue to believe in yourself, just as all of you are. Because at the end of the day, you are your own person, you are your own people, and you can achieve great things. So I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you so much for everybody who's come in today's chat. Thank you so much for the super chats. I truly, genuinely appreciate them. If you're interested in the Breakup Recovery course or for audio coaching, check out my website, www.dateme.tips. You will also find information on my Breakup Recovery course there. You can also, if you want to support the channel and if you want more motivation in your life, join Motivation Club for a small monthly fee on my YouTube channel. You just click the join option and the details are there. There's over 100 videos locked away on my community tab for Motivation Club members. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you and good night.